When we look up the word cold in the dictionary, the first definition that appears is low temperature. But what few know is that behind this simple word lie fascinating secrets. How does our body react when we feel the cold air? Does the cold help us or harm us? Let's explore these intriguing questions in this video, but before we begin, subscribe to our channel, like this video, and turn on notifications. Now sit back as I help you expand your mind. Applying ice on a wound aids in recovery. When we get injured, we often feel pain and swelling in the affected area. A common technique to alleviate these symptoms is to apply ice to the wound. This is because ice reduces blood flow to the area. When blood vessels are exposed to cold, they contract, reducing the amount of blood flowing to the injured area. There is less blood circulation in this area, which reduces swelling and inflammation, making it less stressful for the patient. Additionally, ice helps reduce the sensation of pain, proving to be an effective means in treating injuries. When applying ice to a wound, it's important to follow several guidelines. Do not apply ice directly to the skin as it can cause burns. Instead, use a towel or a thin cloth as a barrier between the ice and the skin. Furthermore, to avoid damaging the tissue, limit the application time to 15 to 20 minutes at a time. Proper use of ice can aid in your recovery from an injury and reduce the discomfort caused by a hematoma. We feel colder when we have a fever. When we have a fever, our body is fighting an infection, causing our body temperature to rise. However, paradoxically, many people experience chills during a fever. This occurs because the body's thermoregulatory mechanism makes it feel cold, even though the internal body temperature is high. As the body temperature rises, it attempts to dissipate and lower the heat. This leads to increased sweating, and as the sweat evaporates from the skin, it cools it down, making you feel colder. Additionally, fever often increases heart rate and respiratory rate, contributing to thermal discomfort. Therefore, feeling cold during a fever is the body's response to the increased internal temperature in an attempt to regulate body temperature. It's a signal that the body is fighting an infection, and the increased heat loss is part of the thermoregulation process. When putting salt on ice, cans chill faster. When we want to quickly cool something like a soda can, it's common to add salt to ice. This is because salt has a noticeable effect on the melting point of ice. The melting point is the temperature at which ice transitions from a solid to a liquid state. Salt, when mixed with ice, lowers this melting point, causing the ice to melt at a lower temperature than 0 degrees C. As a result, the mixture of ice and salt can reach significantly lower temperatures than pure ice. These lower temperatures enable the cans to cool more effectively and rapidly, making the drink colder in a short period of time. The process of adding salt to ice is often used in coolers and ice chests to keep beverages and food cold for longer periods. When the cans are placed in the mixture of ice and salt, heat is quickly drawn away from them, causing them to chill faster. It's a great trick for outdoor parties or picnics when you want to enjoy cold drinks in a short amount of time. Reproductive cells are stored in cold. Reproductive cells, such as sperm and eggs, are extremely sensitive to heat and moisture. To ensure their long-term viability, they are stored at low temperatures, typically in liquid nitrogen at around 196 degrees Celsius. This process, known as cryopreservation, slows down all cellular activities, allowing the reproductive cells to remain in a state of dormancy. This cold storage is essential to preserve the fertilization capacity of these cells, enabling assisted reproductive treatments like in vitro fertilization, even after years of storage. Maintaining reproductive cells in cold storage not only preserves their viability, but also provides the flexibility to plan reproduction, becoming a valuable option for couples or individuals wishing to delay pregnancy or facing medical conditions that threaten their reproductive capacity. Metals feel colder than wood. You might have noticed that when touching a metal object and a wooden one, both at the same room temperature, the metal feels colder. This occurs because metals have high thermal conductivity, meaning they efficiently transfer heat. When you touch metal, it quickly draws heat from your body, creating the sensation that it's colder than it actually is. Conversely, wood is a thermal insulator, meaning it doesn't conduct heat as well as metal. Therefore, when you touch wood, it doesn't draw heat from your body as rapidly, giving the perception that it's warmer, even if the temperature is the same. This difference in thermal conductivity of materials affects our perception of temperature when touching different surfaces. We urinate more in cold weather. The phenomenon of urinating more in cold weather is related to how our body reacts to low temperatures. When exposed to cold, the body acts to maintain a stable internal temperature, known as homeostasis. This involves the constriction of peripheral blood vessels, reducing heat loss through the skin. However, this vascular constriction also increases blood pressure, which can result in increased urine production. The kidneys respond to this extra pressure by filtering more blood and producing additional urine. Therefore, urinating more in the cold is a natural response of the body to maintain internal thermal balance, helping to avoid excessive heat loss and keep the body temperature within healthy limits. After dental surgery, we consume cold drinks or foods. After dental surgery, it's common for dentists to recommend the intake of cold drinks and foods, and there's an important reason behind this. Cold has the ability to promote vasoconstriction, meaning the contraction of blood vessels in the mouth area. This reduces blood flow to the operated area, resulting in a decrease in pain and swelling. Additionally, cold helps numb the region, providing immediate relief from post-surgical pain. Therefore, consuming cold drinks and foods is a recommended practice to make the recovery after dental surgery more comfortable and bearable. Cold can be deadly for people and animals. Extreme cold can pose a serious threat to the health of both humans and animals, mainly due to hypothermia. Hypothermia occurs when the body loses more heat than it can generate, causing the body's internal temperature to dangerously drop. In very low temperatures, such as during prolonged exposure to intense cold or submersion in icy water, hypothermia can develop rapidly. This is especially dangerous as the body's organs begin to function improperly as the temperature drops, and if not promptly treated, it can lead to death. It's important to take measures to protect against extreme cold, such as wearing appropriate clothing to retain body heat, avoiding prolonged exposure to cold, and seeking shelter in adverse weather conditions. Animals are also susceptible to the dangers of extreme cold and should be adequately protected. Providing shelter and warmth for pets and farm animals is essential to prevent injuries and deaths caused by the cold. Some trees shed more leaves in the cold. During winter, some trees, known as deciduous trees, shed their leaves as a survival strategy. This happens because in cold weather, water becomes scarce, and absorbing water through the roots becomes challenging. To conserve water, these trees shed their leaves, which are organs that lose water through transpiration. Without leaves, water loss is significantly reduced, allowing the tree to retain its moisture and survive the winter. When spring arrives and conditions become more favorable, deciduous trees produce new leaves, restarting the process of growth and photosynthesis. This mechanism is an intelligent adaptation of trees to face challenging winter conditions, ensuring their survival until conditions become more suitable for growth and the production of fresh leaves in spring. Cars fueled with ethanol take longer to start in cold weather. In cold weather, cars fueled with ethanol may experience difficulty starting due to the properties of ethanol itself. Ethanol, compared to gasoline, has a higher freezing point, which means it can become thicker and less volatile in low temperatures. This results in less fuel vaporization, making it harder to ignite in the engine's spark plugs. Additionally, the motor oil can also become denser in cold temperatures, slowing down the proper function of the engine's moving parts and the chemical reactions of the battery. All of this contributes to a delay in the car's starting process on cold days, when fueled with the ethanol. To overcome this challenge, many flex fuel cars have fuel heating systems that warm up the ethanol before it enters the engine, making it more prone to ignition. Furthermore, keeping the car in a heated garage or using special fuel additives can help minimize the issue in extremely cold conditions. Therefore, understanding how ethanol properties are affected by cold weather is crucial in addressing starting difficulties in ethanol-fueled vehicles. The radiator water doesn't freeze on cold days. This occurs due to the use of antifreeze substances, such as ethylene glycol, mixed with water in the vehicle's cooling system. These substances have the ability to significantly lower the freezing point of water. When water is mixed with antifreeze, the resulting solution has a lower freezing point than pure water. This means that the mixture can withstand colder temperatures without solidifying. Thus, even in extremely cold climates, the liquid in the car's radiator remains in a liquid state, ensuring that the engine does not freeze and continues to function correctly. On cold days, we feel more pain. On cold days, it's common for many people to report feeling more pain in their bodies. This happens due to several reasons. Firstly, changes in atmospheric pressure that often accompany weather changes can affect our perception of pain. When atmospheric pressure decreases on a cold day, our tissues and joints may slightly expand, pressing on nerve endings and causing more discomfort. Additionally, the low temperature itself can increase the sensation of pain, as muscles and joints tend to contract, creating greater tension on sensitive areas of the body. Therefore, on cold days, the combined effect of pressure, changes, and muscle contraction can contribute to an increased perception of pain. Applying alcohol to the skin gives a sensation of cold. When you apply alcohol to the skin, such as isopropyl alcohol, an immediate sensation of cold occurs due to a phenomenon called evaporation. Alcohol is a volatile liquid, meaning it easily evaporates when in contact with air. For this evaporation to occur, the alcohol needs to absorb energy in the form of heat from the area of the skin where it's applied. Essentially, the alcohol steals heat from your skin during the evaporation process, causing that temporary sensation of cooling. It's important to note that this sensation of cold is only temporary since the alcohol completely evaporates and the skin returns to its normal temperature shortly after. Additionally, alcohol should be used with care, avoiding contact with the eyes and mucous membranes, as it can be irritating. Therefore, when you apply alcohol to the skin and feel the sensation of cold, remember that it happens due to the evaporation of the liquid, which momentarily removes heat from your skin. Drinking alcohol in cold weather gives a feeling of warmth. When we consume alcohol on cold days, we may experience a temporary sensation of warmth. This happens because alcohol is a vasodilator, meaning it causes our blood vessels to expand. As a result, more blood flows through these vessels, especially to the skin. This gives a feeling of warmth and redness on the skin, which can be comforting in a cold environment. However, this sensation of warmth is deceptive, as alcohol actually causes the body to lose internal heat. This occurs because the dilation of blood vessels on the skin's surface leads to increased heat loss to the surroundings. Therefore, while we may feel warmth temporarily, alcohol doesn't truly warm us and in fact can make us lose internal heat, which is potentially dangerous in extremely cold conditions. Hence, it's important to consume alcohol in moderation and be aware of its effects on our body's temperature regulation system.
You are our major sponsor. This video required many hours of work, love, and dedication to be completed. Therefore, your participation is what keeps us inspired to grow even more and reach a larger audience with this valuable content. Subscribe to our channel, like, and share this video with others, as this is how YouTube will understand that you enjoyed this content and will present it to more people. Now, if you want to watch content as good as this, click on the video that's appearing on your screen. Thank you for watching, and until next time.